everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and you're watching Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined us, this wonderful tribe, the supportive tribe. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the comments and the emails. I appreciate you guys. So today, let's talk about this brain fog, this mist. And as I say in every video or in most of my videos, I understand that all of us do not believe in the same thing. I do profess my Christian faith. I do tell you guys that I'm a believer, but I do understand that there are many of us on this channel as the tribe. A lot of you are into different things or different belief system: Muslim, Shintoism, Hinduism, mysticism, whatever it is. But we can all agree that a narcissist is a narcissist, and there's something demonic about this individual, right? And so you may use different terminologies for brain fog, confusion, demonic mist, depersonalization, derealization, and so let's talk about that a little bit. And so, I don't like to talk over the heads of people. I like to simplify things. As a professional, as a mental health professional, I like to take, clinical terminology and break it down so it's in bite sizes. I did it while I was in the military. I take things, break it down into understandable pieces so that my soldiers could understand. No different than when I get on here and I train. I take stuff and I'm going to make it into simple bite sizes. So let's talk about post-traumatic stress and complex post-traumatic stress. So post-traumatic stress, if you think about post-traumatic stress, there's an event that has happened either 6 months or longer ago that was terrifying, that was traumatic. You may have witnessed death or the torture of someone, or you may have been threatened death or tortured. Something traumatic has happened that caused you to be afraid for your life, that has changed your thoughts about the world or people. And now, you're triggered. You have a problem in going in certain places because it's like you relive the trauma on a daily basis. You're constantly triggered. There's smells that you can't stand, places you can't stand being around, people that you have a problem being around, hypervigilant, you're constantly in fight, flight, or freeze mode. It constantly feels like something is going to happen, like there's danger coming, and you live on this adrenaline. Your heart is always in this state of, something is going to happen because you have been traumatized, So that's a simplistic way of giving you an understanding of post-traumatic stress. Flashbacks, nightmares, depression, anxiety. You cry, don't even know why you're crying. Have a problem with going outside. You feel like you're having an out-of-body experience and you're seeing the world in a dream state. Or, it's like everything is going slow. You're confused. You can't get your thoughts together, Post-traumatic stress. Now let's talk about complex post-traumatic stress. Okay, complex post-traumatic stress is when you live like this with your tormentor or the person that's terrorizing you on a daily basis, which is oftentimes, narcissistic parents, narcissistic siblings, narcissistic children, or narcissistic partners. A lot of you talk about the partners that you're with, your husbands, your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your live-in partner, whoever. This is when you are going through the trauma on a daily basis. I have met so many people that have complex post-traumatic stress where it presents itself as bipolar, and they're given bipolar medication, and the bipolar medication works in reverse. It doesn't work for them because they don't have bipolar disorder. And some of them have psychotic episodes. They don't, and a lot of them did not have bipolar disorder. Some of them have borderline personality disorder, but most of them had complex post-traumatic stress, which it almost looks similar. So you have to be careful because ADHD, post-traumatic stress, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, you have to pay attention to different symptoms to know how to distinguish the difference between mood disorder, traumatic stress disorders, bipolar, mood disorder, personality disorders. But complex post-traumatic stress is when your tormentor is in close proximities with you at all times. Most of you guys, especially during this corona shut-in, are with your tormentors face to face. And so every day you walk on eggshells. Your whole family walk on eggshells. A lot of you experience it. You walk on eggshells. You wake up in the morning and you don't know what the tormentor is going to do. You guys walk around an eggshell to try to keep the peace as much as you can. But a narcissist lives off of the pleasure of knowing that that's one of their greatest weapon is fear. As long as I can keep you on eggshells and keep you unkiltered and keep you unbalanced, I have control. Because because the majority of people, in order to keep the peace, they give in. You find yourself doing things that you have never done or you would never imagine doing, emptying out your bank account, giving up your 401k plan, complying to stuff that in your heart, is against your moral, your good moral judgments, your virtues, things that you've learned just to keep the peace, just to keep them quiet, just so they don't humiliate you. You may see them, you're at work and you see them coming in the parking lot and immediately start having a panic attack because you don't know what that individual is going to do. You don't know how they're going to humiliate you and embarrass you in front of people. You hate to be in public with these individuals, but then when you go home, the whole family is anxious and confused. And so you walk around with this, you're in this confused state of mind. My memory is bad. I can't think straight. At one point in time, I was an accountant, a lawyer, this, whatever you were. Now I can't even get myself together. My mind, I walk in confusion every day. It's like I have this fog in my mind where I can't even think straight. That's why I always emphasize, no contact. When you go no contact and get away from that narcissist, the whole purpose is to clear that fog, that demonic mist, that cloud in your head. And the longer you're away from that individual, the more clear your mind becomes. The more you begin to see what is really happening and what has happened to you. Oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. Oh my God. And you begin to see them for what they really are. When you are in close proximity with a narcissist, a lot of things you don't see. Number one, you love them. Number two, you probably dismiss their behavior or make excuses for them because you love that individual. So you excuse their behaviors a lot. A lot of you have gotten out of these relationships, and when the cloud and the fog has lifted from your mind, you begin to see them for what they really are. And you're thinking, what a monster. How in the world? And a lot of you live by shame. You can't be ashamed of the fact that you made a decision and you were unaware of what you were dealing with, and that's the biggest thing. But the fear is the tool or the weapon that they use to maintain control. Power and control in domestic violence. Fear is implemented to maintain control. That's why they trauma bond. They trauma bond because there's a fear of rejection, a fear of being abandoned, a fear of being abused, a fear of being beaten, a fear of being punished, a fear that you won't talk to me, a fear that you won't feed me, a fear that, that I'll lose my money, I'll lose my job, I'll lose my mind. So I will comply with you. I will even protect you. It's that trauma bonding. It's that, what's the term we always say? Come on, the trauma bonding has another name for it. And like you guys are live on camera or something like that, you'll figure out it's a syndrome. And I know you guys will put it up under there. But that's what that trauma, the Stockholm Syndrome, that's what it is. The Stockholm Syndrome is where the person is so traumatized and your life is in the hands of the tormentor to a point where in order to maintain life, in order to maintain some kind of equilibrium or some type of safety zone, or to keep from being killed or wounded, or you will do whatever you can to protect the tormentor. You'll do whatever you can to even comply with, protect them at all costs. And a lot of you are in love, so you dismiss their behaviors. You make excuses for their behavior. Well, I can't leave because everyone in their life has always left her, has always left him, and I don't want to be the person to leave, and they've been so wounded. Well, they know that it's easy to manipulate your emotions like that. So guess what? They're going to lay it on thick. Everyone always leaves, and I know that I have a problem. They'll tell you everything that they've been told. They'll tell you everything that you said. They don't believe what you say. They know what they're like, but they don't believe that they're faulted. They're not defaulted. They're broken like that. They don't believe that they're imperfect like that because they're perfect, and they build this image of perfection. So how dare you tell me all my flaws? But in order to pull you in, they'll tell you all the flaws that they know that they have and everything that you've told them about themselves, and they'll agree, but most people come out of these relationships, you are so confused, and it takes so long to get yourself back into this happy equilibrium, this sense of understanding, this sense of normalcy. Like, I can finally think clear. Every time you discard, or every time you go no contact and you break the no contact and you go back, it gets worse every time. If you think you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode in your house, it gets worse and worse. And there are many people that have committed suicide. A narcissist, that's the greatest fuel that they can get if you kill yourself, and some of them will kill you, but the greatest fuel that they can get is that you kill yourself over them. That makes them feel valuable. That makes them feel empowered because they had the power to make you do it because you love them so much and they can't connect with you emotionally like that. And so when you go no contact, you have to maintain your no contact because every time you go back, it's not that they've learned their lesson. They learn how to manipulate you better and they learn how to keep you from escaping. And they're going to punish you for discarding them or embarrassing them or humiliating them because nobody leaves me. I leave you. Some of them get back just to leave you. And some of them get back just to punish you for leaving in the first place, for embarrassing me, for humiliating me, for bringing shame to me. And so a lot of you are living with this brain fog. But when you get out, stay out. That's what the no contact is for. No contact, not on their social media, not on their cell phone, not on the texting. Now, some of you have children by the narcissist, but you can still gray rock. You don't have to have a conversation. You know what you're dealing with. You are not in the average mother and father relationship with, or mother, father, whatever, but you're not in a normal relationship with this individual. They have narcissistic personality disorder based off of your assumption and your observation. Because couldn't diagnose someone without actually doing the clinical test, but you could tell because you've watched the videos enough, you've gotten enough information where you can see the 5 and 7 or 9 traits of narcissistic personality disorder, and you can actually write a book and write it out as to what it looks like. But when they leave and you do no contact, don't go back because you are already confused. Now the fog is lifting, the mist is lifting, and you're able to see clearly. It's almost like someone gave you HD glasses, and that's where a lot of the shame comes in, because I am ashamed that I've allowed myself to be abused this way in front of people. And a lot of times you're ashamed to even reconnect with people because you're embarrassed over what you've been through and what they witnessed. So it's hard to reconnect with the people. But you'd be surprised that some of the people that you disconnected with, that you decided that because you were embarrassed, are people that actually will support you. You would be surprised that those people that are like, I already knew, but I can't make a decision for you. Once you made that decision, I just want you to know that I was here all along. So you'd be surprised. But that narcissist will have you confused. But remember, every time you go back, it gets worse. Every time you go back, it gets worse. And the purpose for the no contact, and for those of you that have children, you can still gray rock. You don't have to have a conversation with that individual. The conversation should be solely focused on the child. Do they have clothes? Do you need me to pack a bag? I'll drop them off. Thank you. I appreciate it. And leave it alone. You know that you're never going to have a normal relationship with this individual. So stop looking at other people and wishing that it would be like that. It won't be like that because the narcissist is not normal. And so you would never have a normal relationship with this person. You will counter co-parent with this individual, and you have to learn to gray rock. You are irrelevant, but my child is a child, and they don't know what you are. And so I'm going to do the best that I can. But that doesn't mean me and you have to talk. And a lot of them use the kids and play good parent, and buy them or they do it for the image. They do it for people. And a lot of times they do it just for you to connect, just for you to say something, just for you to react. Gray rock. And remember, no contact will clear your mind. And the longer you're away, the clearer you start thinking. But as you begin to think clearer, be careful with the shame and the embarrassment that comes with what you experienced. I am this type of person. I have been, in this type of position, and I lead and I do this, and I'm a corporate business person. And I'm a lawyer. I'm a judge. They get bamboozled too. They get confused. They get manipulated. Stars and people on television. You'd be surprised at how many people have been tricked and confused by a narcissist, which is embarrassing for them, but they didn't know what they were getting into. So hopefully this has helped you tonight. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe to my channel. It is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Make sure you go and check out my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the videos. You never know who you're going to help. I have a book out. It's called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. It's on Amazon, or you can get it on Barnes & Noble. You can go to Westbow Press. The information is all under the video under YouTube for the order information. You get ebook, you can get Kindle, you can get hard copy, you can get the soft copy, but it's Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Real stories, real people, and you can see narcissism play out, the things that they thought homicidal, suicidal thoughts that they have, how their children were abused, how they discarded and how they were discarded, the positions that these people held, in corporate places, in the public eye, but these are real people, and that is their stories. They're real stories. Now, true enough, a lot of you, are not believers in God, but a lot of you said that when you purchased the book, it resonated with you because you found yourself in the book. I do bring encouragement from a Christian perspective. However, the stories themselves are the stories themselves of the experience. So a lot of you found yourself in the book. And so, and I appreciate for a lot of you that even contacted me to say, I'm not a Christian, but this book was my story. So thank you guys so much, and make sure you buy the books for someone. Donate them to people that you think are going through this, not the narcissist, but the victim or the victor, because you guys are victors. Also, I do have a podcast. I do podcasts, and you can find me on Podbean, iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. You can find my podcast on there. But if you go to Podbean, that's my main, that's the main station that I broadcast from. And I am found under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. If you go to my community tab, you'll see the picture, you'll see what it looks like, and you can find me on Podbean. I do have maybe about 15 podcasts right now, so I'm trying to, build up the repertoire. I'm trying to build up the podcast. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Those of you that are seeking coaching, if you need coaching and you are out of the state of Washington, I do coaching for people outside the state of Washington because I cannot provide you with mental health services or counseling services directed at mental health, giving you mental health advice or anything like that. I cannot do it outside of the state of Washington. My licensed therapist in the state of Washington. So coaching, I offer coaching for those of you that are outside of the state of Washington. If you're inside of the state of Washington and you contact me, then we will be doing counseling, not coaching. We will be doing counseling. So that means I'll be using your insurance, and if you pay out of pocket, I will give you the prices, my fees for out of pocket expense for counseling services. Coaching, on the other hand, I provide coaching for those out of the state. In coaching, what I address is, where are you at? Where are you trying to go? We're going to create some goals to help you maneuver to get to the point where you're trying to go. Help you to understand what you're thinking, what they're thinking, their game plan. I am the coach in this game of chess for you, and I will help you maneuver through this chessboard, to help you realize or understand what it is you're going through and what they're doing, to give you more knowledge on what you're experiencing, even to validate what you've been going through. But remember, when you make an appointment with me, don't do all the talking. You're paying me to say something to you. Don't do all the talking, y'all. When you hire me, give me the story, then let me give you the advice. Don't do all the talking. You can talk to people for free. Contact me and we work together. And so if you want coaching services, you contact me. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant out at Outlook.com. It is DrCarmenBryant at Outlook.com. You can find it underneath the video. I will post my email address there for services and fees. Also, let's see what else we have. Those of you that are out of state and looking for a counselor for a nominal fee, you can go to BetterHelp.com/Dr. Carmen. It'll give you a 10% discount. Also, if you're having financial difficulties, let them know. And they do offer grants, and it's a nominal fee. I set it up where, you're looking for someone that may spend, when you ask and you're vetting counselors, don't ask them if they understand narcissist abuse. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't specialize in narcissist abuse. Narcissist abuse is domestic violence. Ask them if they understand domestic violence. Ask them if they understand psychological abuse, childhood abuse, sexual abuse, the psychological psychological fallout of domestic violence. And those are the questions that you ask them, because that's what it is. It is domestic violence, psychological, emotional, and physical or sexual abuse. That's what you're dealing with. That's what you're asking for. So ask the therapist if they understand, if they are a trauma professional. I'm a trauma professional by trade, by certification. I am a trauma professional. That's what I do. That's why I talk about trauma a lot. And so those of you, thank you so much. I also am on Facebook, Psychological Health Consultants and Services, or Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. You're welcome to follow me on Facebook. When I go live on Sundays, I usually go live between 8 and 9 o'clock. But since we've been on the shut-in, I don't travel on Sundays, and so I'm usually here. So I usually come in between 2, 3, 4 o'clock, depending on what work I have to do prior to coming on camera. And so you guys make sure that you hit the alerts, make sure you hit subscribe, and then alert all, so you know whenever I come and post new videos. So once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. All of those that have asked about donations, my Cash App and my PayPal link is down below the videos. Thank you so much. I am so honored. I am so grateful. Thank you guys so much. You guys go being great.